We don't know when we're going to die. They say when it's your time to go, it's just your time. It's actually quite a scary thought knowing that tomorrow could be the last day you're alive. Over 150,000 people die every day, and one day we will all be part of that statistic. However, in some cases it seems that death can be tricked, fooled, or even cheated. These next 5 people have shown us that death isn't always as straightforward as we think. Here are 5 people that have cheated death. We would like to give a big shout out to viewer SlayedByViix for suggesting this video. Number 5. Vesna Vulovic. Vesna Vulovic was a stewardess back in the 70s working on a Serbian airline. On January the 26th, 1972, she was working an extra shift to earn a little extra cash. That day, some terrorists decided to blow up her plane and succeeded in doing so at the worst possible time, when the plane was about 33,000 feet in the air. Not only did she survive the explosion that blew the plane into pieces, but she was the only person to live after hitting the side of a mountain. The mountain was also frozen and covered in snow because it was winter. Vesna did somehow survive, but she was in a critical condition. She broke numerous bones, fell into a coma and was left paralysed. When she woke up, she looked around and asked for a cigarette, essentially flipping off death. Now all of this would be amazing in itself, however Vesna wasn't done just yet. Even after she was left paralysed and told she will never walk again, Vesna managed to regain the ability to use her legs and make a full recovery. She also went straight back into work as a stewardess. Number 4. Jim Thompson. During the Vietnam War, Jim was captured and held as a prisoner of war, at which time he was beaten and tortured. He wasn't a prisoner of war for just a few days or months, but a whole 9 years. His plane was shot down in 1964, with Jim taking a bullet and breaking his back in the process. Surviving that part would have been enough of a story for most people to tell for the rest of their lives. After being captured, Jim was held in a jungle camp and jammed into a wooden cage too small for him to sit up or fully stretch out. For months his captors wanted him to sign papers saying that he was being treated well. Jim essentially told them to f*** off and in return was beaten and tortured some more. At some point, however, he finally cracked and signed the papers. As a reward, he was moved into solitary confinement for 4 years. He was finally moved into a prison with other prisoners, which was great except for the fact that the beatings and torture continued. At one point during his captivity, he became so weak that he suffered a heart seizure, but Jim survived that and even managed to escape 5 times. The time took its toll on Jim though, and it looked like death would win. Another prisoner who saw Jim reported that he thought the enemy had placed a corpse in the cell next door. However, Jim held on until he was finally released in 1973, weighing only 90 pounds. 30 years later, Jim did die of natural causes in Florida. Number 3. The Meng Brothers. Meng Shen and Meng Yu were working hard in a coal mine when the tunnel they were working in collapsed, burying them alive. Generally, coal mines anywhere are not a safe place to work, but the Mengs were working in an illegal mine. This meant that the safety budget was probably spent on anything other than oxygen or emergency training. After the mines collapsed, a rescue team was sent in to try and get the Meng brothers out, but they quickly gave up. Their fellow miners then gave it a try and were promptly arrested for illegal mining, presumably on the basis they could accidentally dig up some coal along with the 2 human beings trapped under it. So trapped underground with no food or water and a system too stupid to save them, everyone gave up hope. The brothers, however, were still alive. Realizing the rescue effort wasn't coming, the brothers started digging themselves out. Armed with only a pickaxe and their bare hands, they tunneled their way through 66 feet of coal. In between making jokes about each other's wives and drinking their own urine, they also tried eating some coal to take the edge off their hunger. According to them, coal tastes great when you're starving to death. Once they pulled themselves to the surface, they went to the hospital where they said they crapped out coal for a few days. Number 2. Brent Case. Brent was minding his own business while working in the forests of British Columbia when death came to visit him in the form of a 900-pound adult grizzly bear. Brent was carrying an axe at the time, but knowing the bear would easily win in a fight, he decided to do the smart thing and play dead. Unfortunately, the bear wasn't fooled and started munching on Brent's skull. At one point he thought the bear was actually eating his brain. While this may not have been true, from looking at this picture, you can't blame him from thinking this. It should be noted that playing dead still probably saved his life, as bears typically won't eat an already dead victim. Regardless, with his scalp hanging in huge flaps from his skull and bleeding heavily, Brent managed to get up and go for help. He got back into his car and drove 15 miles covered in blood and bear bites. Number 1. Alexis Goss. This ordinary first grader may just be indestructible. Her story starts when a mum's boyfriend kidnapped them both at gunpoint. The mother tried to stall him and managed to call 911, but the cops said they couldn't send anyone just yet. It was at this point that the boyfriend decided he would start shooting. 2 bullets struck the mother before little Alexis jumped between them without hesitation. He shot 6 times, with little Alexis taking the bullets that would have killed her mother. By this time the police had arrived. Despite being shot point blank 6 times with 2 bullets hitting her head, Alexis made it out alive. This would be jaw-droppingly impressive for an adult to survive, let alone a 7-year-old girl. Maybe it is true that if it's not your time to go, it's just not your time. Thank you for watching, and if you have a video idea, why not leave a comment below, and if we make it, we'll give you a big shout out. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome daily lists of all things 5. This is All 5, and until next time, feed your mind.